which is turn. Okay, turn to the side.
Case basis. Key provisions of Executive Orders 1 through.
Bro, what is this place? I don't know, bro. Hello. Whoa, what the hell did you guys come from? Over there. Welcome to the Cool Ass Museum. I will be your guide for this great adventure, and here's my assistant slash pet, Drew, the cat. Wow, this place is crazy. Couldn't have said it better. Sure is. She's the beauty, isn't she? All right, let's go. Our adventure starts. Anything to eat? I'm hungry. I got some chips in my bag, but I'm starving too. You gotta share them. Nah, bro. What is that? A donut?
No, that's an amendment. That's like an addition to the Constitution, which is the supreme law that even the almighty government can't break.
Oh, that sounds cool. Wait, what does the amendment do? It doesn't say in the picture. Well, I'm glad you asked, Antonio. That amendment right there guarantees us the same rights, no matter our skin color, how wealthy we are, if you're taller than me, or if I only have 4 fingers. We both have those same rights. But there is an exception to this. If you break the law in a serious way, some of those rights are stripped from you. It varies. Hey, dude, did you get anything he said? Most of it. Mainly stuff of how everyone's given equal rights. I had a question, but I forgot it. Man, I know damn well you remember it. Oh, I remember now. What's the 14th Amendment?
Now we're getting somewhere. Loving the enthusiasm with you two. To answer your question, we need to travel through time in order to answer that question.
You see, back then, things weren't as pretty as they are now. People couldn't fathom the idea of living amongst those who did not look like them, and did their best to try to keep the way until many events such as the Civil War that would lead us to correct the path.
The 14th Amendment was not only the second step to making the world a better place after slavery was banned, but it also established civil and legal rights for Black Americans.
Oh, I see. So they did it because they were different? Man, where you pay attention? Yeah, but mister, what did they do to the blacks that were so bad they had to make a new amendment? Was it that bad? You'd be surprised, Antonio. You'd be surprised. Come on, let's continue. Whoa, what is that? It looks kind of weird, doesn't it? Oh, it looks like a Halloween mask. Also, slowly, lads, I can tell you that is not a Halloween mask. I can tell you that for sure. That's the mask of a clan, the Ku Klux Klan, actually. Huh? What does that mean?
The KKK was just one of the many horrors that America faced during those times. The KKK, created shortly after the end of the Civil War in 1865, was a white supremacist terrorist and hate group whose primary targets were African Americans. It's hard even talking about the things they did to these people. They hung them, beat them, invaded their homes, covered them in tar, and why? Just because they wanted to vote, nothing more. It wouldn't be until 1868 that America would stop this with the 14th Amendment, ensuring the protection of Black people. Sometime after the Civil War ended, the 14th Amendment was originally passed in order to secure the rights of Blacks in order to prevent things such as slavery, the entire reason the Civil War came about. The amendment also included the basic legal rights such as voting, the right to a fair and just trial, freedom of speech, and all the good stuff we have today. The amendment was created at a good time hurting the KKK.
Yeah, that's so messed up. I thought the whole slavery thing ended hundreds of years ago. No, my friend, unfortunately it did not. It's actually kind of recent if you think about it. Your great-grandfather was still, he was probably alive during that time. Man, I'm grateful now. I never knew how different it was for people like me. I gotta stop playing League of Legends from this forward. From this.
After a long few hours of walking, because Mr. J doesn't know where he's going, they finally made it to their stop.
Hey, Mr. J, where's the outfit from?
Oh, say, can you see?
Right there. That's actually from the Civil War. The Union Army. Those are the people who fought for our freedom, man. Oh, so that's what they look like. I thought they were Halo armor or something. That would be a sight to see, wouldn't it?
One question, Miss Troops. So, how did the good guys make sure that the bad guys didn't do anything bad again? Because I know mere words won't do it, right?
That's quite right, Antonio. Good thinking. Now, in order to keep the bad guys in check, the Union Army sent some of their men to keep an eye on them, just so they keep them in line and make sure they didn't break any rules of the amendment. And this, of course, upset them because literally the U.S. was split in half about the 14th Amendment.
Go.
Man, that project was so hard, don't you think? Good working with you, though. Maybe next week want to build a house or something?
Sure.
See you then.
Hi, Confederates. Union piece of shit. What the fuck was that, man? What? You talking to them people? They ain't nothing compared to us. Okay. You value them over us? I swear to God, I get my hucklebuck alive. Okay. We don't associate people like that, you hear? Yes. You make me sick just speaking to them.
Whoa, what's wrong with them?
What the fuck do you mean what's wrong with them, man? Look at them.
3, 2, 1.
You think that's like one of us? No. That ain't human. That's a worker.
And?
All they're good for is working for us and picking our cotton. You hear?
Yeah, I guess.
So I ever want to see you associated with people like that. They ain't nothing compared to us.
Well, what about the amendment they're gonna ratify?
You talking about that stupid amendment? I swear to God on my mama, if they ratify that amendment, I'll kill as many people as I like, and you won't be able to do anything about it. The cops won't care. I won't care.
I care. I hope they ratify that amendment.
For what? They ain't nothing compared to us. Look at us, man. They ain't nothing. When I call the cops, they say people like me, not them. They ain't human. You
Wait,
think they're human?
I think I have another story on the top of my head. In 1980, in Louisiana, there was a separate car act causing white and black people to ride separately, but in equal trade cars.
My dear boy Christian, have you ever heard of the name Solomon Northup?
No.
You've never heard of him?
Yeah.
His name is actually involved in one of, I think, the most interesting stories I've ever heard.
Really?
Yeah. This was a free man during the earlier times who was tricked into slavery. He was approached by two men and offered a great gig. He was then tricked into slavery and served in slavery for, guess how many years? Give a guess.
5?
No?
9.
It was actually 12 years. 12 years. That's right. This man served 12 years as a free man. And once he got out, it didn't get much better. He tried to sue for his freedom and argued that since he was in a free state, he should be allowed his freedom. Don't you think that makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But, things weren't as easy during those times. So, of course, he didn't win. But that would mean little compared to the impact he actually made on America. Yeah,
Okay.
indeed. So, after his trial went far-fetched, people heard about it. And this was actually one of the main causes of the Civil War. That decision to not, recognize him as a free man caused a massive split between the Confederates and the Union. Basically, people who believed slavery was right and people who believed slavery was wrong. Obviously, this one would be correct. So his story actually became so popular that it was made into a feature-length film. And to be honest, I'm being quite honest with you, it's actually one of the greatest movies I've ever made. Because, come on, This movie does not shy away from the brutality that people like me had to face during those times. Okay. Would you be able to endure something endless labor every day with no pay?
Nope.
I sure wouldn't. So yes, that's the story of him. And I think he's one of the many reasons that we're standing here today. You and I and them over there having this great conversation.
Okay.
12 years? How's that even possible? Why didn't you call the police?
If it was only that simple to call the cops. Not only was he fighting for 12 years for his freedom, once he was actually released, he tried to sue for his rights, but he obviously lost his case. He was not only fighting for the 14th Amendment, but also the 13th Amendment.
Whoa, hold up. What does the 13th Amendment mean?
Oh, the 13th Amendment? It's like, can't really force someone to work without pay unless it's for a punishment or something, but that's for another group to talk about.
Wink.
But yeah, he had to serve his seat to the whites.
Indeed, since he argued that the train cars were separate but equal, they violated the amendment.
Separate but equal? Not gonna lie, it's kind of confusing. Hey, do you have any drills?
Nah, bro. Hey, Mr. J, I got a question. Does the amendment thing get better over time?
Oh, look at you talking like a youth pastor.
Stop hating, bro. You're just jealous I'm intelligent.
Good question. Antonio, you're on a roll with those questions. So, before the amendment was created, there was the Dred Scott decision, which basically meant that even if a slave was in a no-slave state, they wouldn't be granted citizenship. I know, kind of confusing. And yet, the decision was not only the contribution to the Civil War, but to the creation of the 14th Amendment.
Oh, so is the freedom of contracting another amendment?
No, not quite. It's part of the same amendment. You know, there are actually a lot of parts to just one amendment. It gets real complex, as you see there.
Having lived in the free state and territory did not entitle an enslaved person, Dred Scott, to his freedom and essence to decision, argued that although he was in the United States, Scott was not a citizen and couldn't sue. Wait, where'd Antonio go? Oh, good. Oh, there you are. Hey, Mr. J. Truk, I found him. Hey, what are you reading? Just some papers.
So this is where you guys are at.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's all right. It's all right. And as a matter of fact, I was just about to show you guys this part of the room, the court case section of the museum.
Yeah, about that amendment thing, is it still useful or is it useless and old like my abuela?
Bro, what are you talking about? Your grandma makes the best bundles here. Yeah, but whatever.
You know, I never actually gave any thought to that. Let me think. Oh, what about the thing where two men can get married?
Yes, good job, Chris. Now, if I can recall his name. Oh, Chris Obergefell. He filed a lawsuit against all the states in order to recognize the same-sex marriage on death certificates because his significant other died, but he couldn't be recognized as a significant other.
It's been an astonishing 15 years, hasn't it, my dear boy?
Yeah. I have to tell you something though.
What?
Will you marry me?
You know, after seeing this, yes. I love you, man.
I love you too.
The best thing to happen in my life. I couldn't imagine a world without you. Chris! Chris! I'm not doing that.
In the arms of an angel.
Chris, you stay with me. You stay with me. Come on. Chris. My husband died a loyal man. Why does it not say his name on this death certificate?
Married to you?
Yes!
Because you guys are gay.
What does that mean? We
don't
love
do-
each other.
We don't do that for gay people.
Why not? We love each other just like you would love another man.
Well, you got married to him in another state, and this state doesn't say you can marry.
I don't
same-sex.
care. Love is love.
Fine, let's take it to the court.
All right?
So, of course, Chris Obergefell took it to the Supreme Court. The problem was that the marriage of the two lovely men wasn't actually acknowledged by the government looking at the death certificate. He might have gotten married in another state, but in this state, they weren't. And of course, to many people, marriage is a very big factor, to millions of people actually, and their lifestyle. Obergefell used the 14th Amendment to win the case, as the 14th Amendment convinced the court that marriage was a fundamental right to everyone, which included the gays.
So the marriage was illegal, right? Indeed. Oh, so that means that the ban on same-sex marriage was a violation? Are you getting it? So the ban was unconstitutional? Boom.
Mr. J, is there anything else that happened today that violates the 14th Amendment? I just can't get it at the top of my head.
Out here in our current day, I'm sure you boys heard about the George Floyd incident, right? Yeah. I saw on the news with my abuela. I was making some tamales, but I know the name, but why were they marching? Don't people die and stuff from guns?
This is what Antonio saw on the television at his abuela's house.
You can see police here now firing tear gas into the crowd. They are trying to push these folks back.
The nation erupted into scenes of chaos, violence, and widespread destruction into the early morning hours. Dozens of American cities up in flames after some protests turned into riots, often followed by looting as a nation simmering with unrest unraveled.
Yeah, you are correct, I guess. But in this case, the killing wasn't a fit of mispractice. The killing was rage. His death was the final tipping point for people in America. This was a spiraling problem leading to blacks filling up prisons and being unjustly imprisoned. Hopefully things change in the future.
It sucks how they go through so much discrimination every day. The thing is, they go through racial profiling too. Huh? Man, how can the people who made an oath to protect us do such evil things? I know that's a sad part, but they also get away with it. What? And no one's trying to make change? Facts. I would have like that than nothing.
Buzz.
Huh? Oh shoot, bro, we're gonna be late for dinner. We gotta go. Oh, you're right, bro. Can we stop by for some snacks? I got some lunches. Man, come on. Thank you for everything. It's been a pleasure, boys. Take care now.
See you soon.
As the boys went off to dinner, Chirk and Julian went their own ways. Chirk ended up running away and ended up in a pound, and Mr. J ended up finding something to do.